2 to the 1 to the 1 to the 3. I like good pyros and I like jungle trees. Hey guys, Ihasnotomato here. Welcome back to the Jungle Inferno update day 4. Now, before we get into anything, this just dropped. I was spamming that F5 button and they've delayed the update by 1 day. And in all honesty, I'm kind of fine with that. If they need an extra day, I'm giving them an extra day. You know, this is a really, really big update, and you know, that's fine with me. They are also saying they're going to have it early, so that could mean that I'm going to be in bed at that time because, you know, American time and Australian time is all different. But yes, unfortunately, the Pyro update is not coming out today, but rather tomorrow. But in the meantime, we do at least get to see day 4 and all the things that they are adding. Now, one quick announcement before we go into this. I would like to announce the Ihasnotomato Discord. Yeah, I have a Discord server now. So, this is what's going to happen. You can see it on screen, and basically, I want to talk to you guys. We'll talk about the update and stuff like that. And tomorrow, when the update is live, and I'll be playing, and I'll be recording footage and making videos and stuff like that, you guys can ask me questions and things, and I'll answer them on camera. Just a little nice way of, you know, kind of bringing the community together and all having a good time with Team Fortress 2. So yeah, check that out. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Today, it appears to be all the balance changes. And there's the Iron Curtain. Because, okay. Alrighty. So let me just have a quick look through this. If this is just purely balance changes, and there's a lot of them. Okay, this is kind of what I expected. So, I have been recording footage for the last few days, which I'll be playing in the background now, and I will go over all of these notes just so you guys don't have to look at just words on the screen the whole time. Okie dokie, let's get into it. The field notes. The Jungle Inferno update is almost here. So, there's more information. There's going to be the 5 community maps, the 1 new official map, which is Mercenary Park, of course, the new taunts, new official taunts, which are the Yeti ones, the new cosmetic cases with 20 items each, so that's 40 new items, 2 new war paint collections, filled with community items, and 2 new with new ones and classic ones, 4 new pyro items, and 1 new heavy item, free contracts to earn the new pyro and heavy items, 36 campaign contracts, Mercenary Park gift shop to select your campaign contract rewards, and the equipable contractor. And that's a lot of stuff. Holy shit. I am so looking forward to that. Okay, so general, let's get into this. Significant weapon and class balance improvements. Alright. And it says see gameplay changes selection section below for full details. Okay. Increase the maximum number of backpack slots to 2,500 from 2,000. Okay, that's fine with me. I've never really found myself in dire need of backpack space. So. The default voice codec now defaults to Steam Voice. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't quite know what that means. I don't really use my microphone or anything like that. So, yeah, anyway. Fix the engineer being able to store the gunslinger's melee crit for a future melee attack. I was unaware that that was even a thing. Fix the bug where the ammo from a picked up weapon could exceed the player's maximum ammo allowed. Also didn't know that was a thing, Jesus. A bug where the dispenser would use different bounds checks for distributing ammo and health. Jesus. Fix the bug where the player model would not play the attack animation for some weapons that fire bullets. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fix the bottle, the Scottish handshake, and the Neon Annihilator not having their models break on critical hits. That was a bug? Oh my god, for all these years I thought that it was like they actually removed it. Holy shit. I was like, I thought that they were trying to make it more PC, that hitting someone with a broken bottle was like just too extreme, but no, it was actually a bug. Well, fuck yeah. And I didn't even know the Neon Annihilator had a broken thing to it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Fix some of the heavy's edible secondary items, not having the model update when the item is eaten. Yeah. Fix the case where players could have multiple weapons visible at the same time. Yeah, that happens all the fucking time. Fix some outdated tips. Yeah, that needed to be done. Some manpower mode changes. I'm going to be honest, I don't really play manpower mode. I'll read them out anyway. Knockout power up now collects health without subtracting their health bonus. Results in knockout carriers collecting more health from each health kit. Resistance power up now blocks backstabs. And yeah, so there's your manpower stuff for those who are interested in that. Let's see. Fix engineers using the Eureka effect to teleport out of hell on Halloween maps. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fix the announcer sometimes saying the tank is halfway through when a tank first spawns in Man vs. Machine. Yep, alright. This is some nice, just like, you know, general fixes and stuff like that. Updated the palette of crates to only drop crates and not cases. Okay, fair enough. Players that have their movement slowed for any reason now have a status icon appear on their HUD in the same area that displays other player effects, such as Mark for Death. Okay. It's a bit unnecessary, but you know, a nice touch, a nice little bit of quality of life thing. Added first-person inspect animations to all weapons. Oh, yes. Okay, that I really, really like. I was waiting for that. So for those of you who didn't know, they had the inspect animation for pretty much every weapon kind of already in the game. They just never properly implemented them, and now we can look at every single weapon. Hell yes, that's fucking sweet. Oh, I know that that's such a minor thing, and like probably most people don't give a shit about it. I don't know. I like that level of just like, I like to look at my shit. I don't know. It's I got a bit too excited over that a little bit, but I like it. Added a disconnect sound when the medic stops healing their target. Oh, okay, that could be useful actually. Added new sounds for the family business, the winger, and the frontier justice. Okay, I suppose that's just to differentiate their firing noises. That's fine. Updated sounds for the brass beast and the upper hand. Yep. Steam controller improvements. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna read them. I've never used a Steam controller, nor do I know anyone who has one. So I'm just gonna go through that. Community request added TF play rounds / TF list rounds debug commands to jump between mini rounds on multi-stage maps. Okay. Applied the match rejoin limitations in casual to Man vs. Machine as well. Oh. Players who leave Man vs. Machine match cannot matchmake back into the same game for several minutes. Players who are vote kicked from Man vs. Machine match cannot matchmake back into that same game for several hours. Huh, okay. And it looks like they've added a shit ton of new medals for the tournaments. I'm just skimming through it here. Tip of the hats, medals. Updated a couple medals to be painted. Yeah, and have them. Some can have description tags. Okay, so there we go. Those are your bug fixes, I guess, and like minor little general things. Okay, parties. Parties can now be formed from anywhere within the game and persist through matches. Okay, what is? Wait. Are you talking about like the parties as in like the matchmaking queue parties? That's pretty nice. Players are now able to join their party's match if late joining is allowed. Oh yes, okay. If this is saying what I think it's saying, where like we can finally rejoin games, I'm very happy. Add a new party interface that allows you to quickly manage and interact with your party. Added a global party chat system that allows party members to chat with each other from anywhere in the game. Okay, fucking sweet, man. Party chat is printed in the in-game chat interface when in-game. Added con command say_party, default bind P, that allows for party members in game to chat with each other. That's fucking awesome. I like that. I really like that. I know that like Overwatch already has that kind of thing, but I like that. That's really nice. Sweet. Okay, matchmaking. Redesign the matchmaking screens to be lightweight overlays that can be summoned and dismissed from anywhere within the game. Oh, so now we can finally like look at our items and stuff like that. I think that's what it means. Hell yeah. Move the casual and competitive badge panels to the main menu. All right, sweet. I'm fine with that. Casual. Okay, levels now go beyond 150. All players now have a tier in addition to their level. All players start at tier 1. When your level goes past 150, your level resets to 1. Your tier goes up by 1. And your casual badge will change its appearance to reflect your new status. Okay, so each tier is at 150 levels. Fair enough. Players who have reached 150 will have any experience beyond 45,500 and amount required to hit 150 put into an overflow pool. While playing casual matches, any XP you earn will be matched and deducted from your overflow pool until it runs out. The vote for next map dialogue can now be minimized to view the top scoring players. Aha! Finally! Now we can actually see who's at the top. Sweet, man. I'm liking all these changes. These are like the matchmaking things and the parties things. Like, those are some of my only complaints that I really had with matchmaking. So that makes me really happy. Okay, contracts. The contracts drawer has been replaced with a contractor, a state-of-the-art PDA. You can now work on contracts at your own pace. It's up to you to decide which ones to work on and in what order to work on them. You can now make progress on bonus objectives while working towards completing your primary objective. Only one contract can be active at a time. Contracts are now unlocked by spending stars. Stars are earned by completing objective. Interesting. It sounds like the whole contract thing has been like reworked, so it's kind of difficult to picture exactly what's going on here. Contracts can be turned in once the primary objective is complete. So I guess like you have like a primary objective and then like a bunch of secondaries, or maybe just a single secondary. I don't know. And you can keep moving on as long as you do the primaries, but the secondaries are kind of just bonus stuff. Partially completed contracts can be reactivated for free at any time. Ah, sweet. Very nice. Party members who are on the same server and the same team can help earn progress on each other's contracts. Ah, they still didn't really elaborate on that very much. I really want to know exactly, like, how that works in terms of people helping you out. Like, can they just, like, essentially do it for you if you allow them? I don't know. I guess, like, we don't know what the contracts will entitle either, so I don't know, whatever. Okay, gameplay changes. Here we go. So we got the multi-class stuff first. The panic attack. This is one of our least used weapons. The main culprit seems to be the queued/delayed fire aspect, which fights against the basic concept of the secondary slot on classes that can use this weapon: Soldier, Heavy, Engineer, Pyro. Players generally expect a secondary that is immediately ready to fire. For the rare case where the main weapon isn't available, e.g. out of ammo, or isn't the optimal choice, airborne, e.g. airborne, too close, etc. Removing the queued/delay fire concept is basically invalidates the original design. So we started over. Oh, so they're completely changing the panic attack. Okay. Let's see. Their goal is to make the weapon immediately usable. Remove the large burst of potential, generally hard to balance, and give the weapon a unique design space to occupy. Okay. Let's see. The new panic attack. 50% faster switch speed, 50% more pellets, 30% less damage. It fires a wide, fixed shot pattern, regardless of server settings, and shot pattern grows with successive shots. E.g., while holding down the attack button, but resets after you stop firing or reload. Huh. Okay. So, essentially, it's just... you can switch to it quickly. You shoot like way more pellets. You do less damage, and it also shoots in a fixed pattern. And the more you like shoot it, like the wider your shot gets as you hold down the button. Okay, sounds fine to me. I still don't know if I would personally use it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I find that interesting that like they're just like, yeah, we can't find a good way to fix this, so we're just reworking it. So now we know that it's definitely on the table. Because I was always under the assumption that like a weapon like this, where like this is your main gimmick, they wouldn't change it too much away from that gimmick. But apparently, like they actually did. Straight up. Okay, and the reserve shooter. This is definitely going to be an interesting one. All right, let's see what it says. Pyros are too easily able to take advantage of this weapon's primary feature via air blast, i.e. no penalty on demand launching of their target. And so their damage potential can greatly exceed that of the other classes that also use this weapon, as in just Soldier. Rather than take a heavier-handed approach to solve this, we've instead decided to remove air blast as a source for mini-crits. Oh! Attacks on targets knocked into the air by Pyro air blast, no longer mini-crit, and they added attacks on targets flying via the thermal thruster, mini-crit. Okay. Yep. Fine. Honestly, that's kind of perfect, isn't it? Sounds like it. Yeah. That's such a simple and easy change. Huh. I never thought of that before. Just make it so it doesn't do the mini crit when you air blast them. Does that completely fix it? I think it does. Like, I don't like to be the person who jumps shark here. I don't like to go like, it sounds perfect, but it sounds perfect. I don't know. Okay. Well, moving on. Spy. Now, the Ambassador and the Dead Ring are both here, and I know that like a lot of people were so 50-50 about the Dead Ringer and Ambassador changes that they proposed a few months ago. And like people were like, that's fantastic, and other people were like, it's terrible, it'll completely destroy the class. So it seems like a matter of opinion thing, and I get the feeling that no matter what this is, someone's going to complain. But let's see. Starting off with the Ambassador, players at a headshot from across the map are expecting to see a sniper in their def cam, but they sometimes see, more often than what we'd like, a spy with a revolver. Goal: reduce the effective combat range to something more reasonable and expected with the spy. And here's the changes. Headshot damage is now subjected to distance fall-off effects. Headshots beyond 12,000 world units do normal non-crit damage. Honestly, that sounds fine to me. I am fine with that. I think that that's like completely reasonable. They didn't completely remove the headshots thing, and they make it so you can't be a fucking sniper as a spy, you know, jumping around and just trying to land the perfect headshot from halfway across the map. But I've always found that like unnecessarily annoying, where it is that kind of like, okay, great, you got me, you shot me in the head, you clicked on my head, good job, from like far away. But that's not what the spy, in my opinion, should be focused on. You know, the spy, in my opinion, is supposed to be like, I don't know, a bit more sneaky, a bit more, you know, you can't just go gung-ho and just headshot people running around, jumping up and down and having a, like, that long-range one-hit kill. His whole thing is the close-range one-hit kill, so anyway, whatever. So yeah, I like the Ambassador change. I don't know what other people will think. Hopefully they all agree. I mean, I'm not a spy main, and as a Pyro main, I'm, you know, less inclined to side with a spy, but I do try and think of the game as a whole. So, let's go Dead Ringer. Feign Death is an interesting effect, but a good spy can use it extremely frequently, making it frustrating to play against and reducing the risk of using it nearly constantly. The goal? Rather than make it less interesting, let's make it more predictable to fight against by removing methods by which spies can reduce its cooldown. This should create more of a rhythm to fighting against a spy using this, and introduce a little more risk to players using it. Changes. Ammo kits and dispensers no longer fill the spy's cloak meter. Once again, I like this. Personally, I do find the Dead Ringer to be kind of really annoying as a Pyro, particularly because of the, you know, the fire resistance and the speed boost, and it's just like, I can't feel like I do my job properly because they always run away and stuff. But that's just my personal thing. But another big thing is that the Dead Ringer can be spammed if you know where the health pack, the ammo packs are, really. And like, people are using it in a way of tanking rather than, you know, being sneaky, a way of what the spy should be. The whole idea of the Dead Ringer is to pretend that you're dead, not use it as like a damage invulnerability for a bit, you know. So once again, I like this change a lot. But I can see it now. I know that that's going to cause some controversy, but we'll see. And then your eternal reward. This is the least used spy knife. Technically the reskin is, but anyway. While silent kill and rapid disguise on kill are good, the downside on this knife is extreme. Personally, I've actually always really liked the your eternal reward. I think it's got a really great concept, but I think for the more fast-paced gameplay, it doesn't really fit very well. Because when I play spy, I'm very like sneaky, and I take my time, and I, you know, pick out kills rather than going all gung-ho. So, alright, let's see what they did. Changes. Remove the cannot disguise penalty and added non-kill disguises require and consume a full cloak meter. Backstab base disguises are still free. Increase cloak drain rate by 33%. Okay, so you can disguise, but if you kill people, no. Oh yeah. Sorry. You can disguise at any time. But if you do that, it'll take a full cloak meter away from you. So it encourages you to do the backstab, but you can still disguise normally at the risk of your own cloak. And it also drains your cloak faster. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just see. I really don't know how that'll change the way people play. So, like I said, I'm not a spy main. I really don't play spy that often at all. So I'm not really the authority on this. So yeah, let me know if you guys, if anyone mains spy, tell me. Yeah. Scout. The Sandman. The feedback on this weapon has been fairly consistent for a while. Players really hate losing the ability to fight back. Compounding this, the ball has to travel really far in order to disarm players. Being hit by a long-range ball, more often than not, ends up feeling random rather than skilled. That is true. That is true. But I'll tell you what, folks, a little bit of a sneak peek to TF2 update history for the Scout update. The Sandman used to be a hell of a lot more broken. I'll just say that. So let's see what they changed. Long-range ball impacts no longer remove the victim's ability to fire their weapon, but the victim is still slowed. We've updated achievements that were looking for disarmed players. Fair enough. Max range balls now do 50% increased damage from a base of 15%. The flight time required to trigger the max effect has been reduced by 20%. Okay. Ball regeneration time reduced to 10 seconds from 15. It sounds like they kind of just buffed it a little. I mean, yes, they removed the like completely being stunned thing, which is good. I guess. I mean, I personally, I never really cared that much because I've been playing with it for years. Against it, more like, I find that like when a scout hits you halfway across the map, I find myself never in a position where it really matters other than just to annoy me. See, I would have thought that they would have changed more of the, just like the time you're stunned in general, because it's different depending on how far it is. So, but anyway, it looks like they've changed it so you can't fully stun them, but you can get the new max effect at a closer range. Also, the max range does 50% more damage as well. And the ball comes back faster. Okay, yeah, I mean, it sounds, I mean, like, once again, I didn't really mind that much in the first place. So, yeah, gonna have to wait and see on that one. Let's see, Bonk Atomic Punch. This weapon was designed to allow scouts to pierce hotly contested areas. While it does this quite well, it doesn't require enough skill or carry much of a downside. Changes. Apply a slow effect to the player after phasing wears off, based on the amount of damage they absorbed, from negative 25% at low damage to negative 50% at 200 plus damage in the last 5 seconds. So they're nerfing Bonk. You know, personally, I never find people use Bonk that much, and ever since it was released, I always saw it more of a gimmick than an actual gameplay mechanic. I don't know what it's like in competitive, but I don't think it needs a downside, but I mean, whatever. I'm fine with it. I don't use it myself, so. The Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol. This weapon is one of the lower owner equipped items in the game. Looking at the current design, it seems that not taking full damage ranks pretty low on the value scale for a scout. Yes, it does. Full damage is not really a value for many people, except maybe soldiers. And a flat plus 20% damage taken penalty is basically the kiss of death for a low health class. The goal is to make the weapon less of a liability and focus it on as a get health quick tool with decent burst at the expense of total damage. The new design, 15% firing, plus 15% firing speed, and up to plus 7 HP per hit from plus 5. And minus 25% clip size. It has 9 shots. Okay. So it's essentially you use it to just get health back. And the only downside is that it's got less bullets. And it fires quicker. So the idea is you're in battle, you're kind of taking a bit of damage, quickly switch to your pretty boy's pocket pistol, shoot some shots into the enemy, get a bit of health back. It's all nice and quick. Yeah, sounds fine to me. Once again, but I'm not really a pistol user on Scout. I use Mad Milk personally. And if I use a pistol, I usually use the Logomorph. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, I'm pretty lukewarm on it. I'm fine with it. I like the idea that they're trying to make it better, but it doesn't sing out to me, I guess, is what I'm trying to look for. Like, if anything goes, ooh, you know, I'll let you know, but these so far have been like, oh, here's one. The Criticola. The last change to this item added Mark for Death while the effect ended. This was okay because it forced scouts to get out after a little while, but it didn't add any risk in the moment. The goal: add more decision/thought on when/where to activate and how to manage the risk/reward to the effect. So here are the changes. Added: each attack while active adds Marked for Death debuff for 5 seconds. It does not stack. They remove Marked for Death when effect expires. They removed the plus 25% move speed bonus, and they removed the plus 10% damage taken penalty. So basically what it is now is, so you drink it, you get your mini crits, and that's it for the duration. However, every time you attack, you get a Mark for Death above your head for 5 seconds. It doesn't stack though. Do I think this changes it to the point where it's not completely broken? I think it does. Yeah, because they removed all the big bonuses. So now all it is you drink it and you get mini crits. But the consequence of that is as soon as you start using them, you make yourself more vulnerable. I think that's good actually. Yeah, it's risk reward. So yeah, as soon as you drink it, you're putting yourself at risk. In the moment. I think that's what it should have been from the beginning, honestly. Yeah, that sounds really good. I know that once again, that's like a massive thing in the community, in the competitive community, where Criticola has always been like the most OP item. But I think this has pretty much done it. Looks like to me, at least. The Atomizer. Triple jump as a passive effect is just too strong. It makes combat against the scout unpredictable because opponents don't see the bat, and therefore have a hard time anticipating the scout's capabilities until late in an encounter. It also makes the scout very strong against explosive classes, due to a combination of extreme mobility and high close range damage. The goal is require the scout to deploy the bat to take advantage of the extra jump, which is also a signal to other. Okay, I think that's a bit of a time. To other players that they can perform an extra jump and reduce the bat's negatives to compensate. Okay, so the changes is the triple jump is now only possible when the bat is deployed. Fair enough. That's a big thing that a lot of people always have with items in TF2 is that that while deployed thing is always a bit of an annoyance, like for things like the overdose. But I think in terms of the Atomizer, that's probably one of the places it belongs. Remove self-inflicted damage while triple jumping. Remove the attack speed penalty. Okay. They added melee attacks done while airborne mini crit. Okay, sure. They added 50% deploy time penalty to prevent quick switch bypass. Yep, okay. And reduce damage penalty versus players to 15%, so negative 15% from negative 20%. Okay, so it does slightly more damage, and if you're airborne, you can mini crit people, and it takes a lot. It takes twice as long, well, 50% longer to deploy it. So I think the idea is like you find yourself in a one-on-one situation, you feel like you need the advantage of the triple jump, so you can swap it out and you kind of dedicate yourself to that weapon. And the upside is while you're jumping around, if you can land hits while you're jumping, that's your kind of advantage in the situation. Honestly, it sounds fine. Yeah, I've always found that the atomizers can be a little bit annoying with the scouts jumping all around the place. It's just annoying to hit them. Yeah, sounds fine to me. Sounds good. Okay, flying guillotine. Man, the scout's got a lot of changes. This is the last weapon though. Okay, this weapon. Sorry. This weapon is capable of high burst damage under what seems like random conditions, such as mini crits at long range and full crits when the target is slowed or stunned by anything, e.g. Ghost Boo effect and Natasha. The goal is remove the feeling of randomness and reward accuracy. Okay. So the changes are removed crit versus stun players. Oh, really? That's kind of the whole thing. They removed mini crits at long range. Added long range hits reduce recharge by 1.5 seconds. Distance considered long range reduced by half of the previous value while determining mini crits. Huh. So basically what it is now is if you just hit people at longer ranges, you just get it back faster, and that's it. That's all it does. I kind of feel like that's... I don't know. It's iffy, because I know a lot of people have an issue with the whole, you know, stun crit combo. But, I don't know. I always thought that the flying guillotine was associated with that, and I feel like if they remove that, it's not going to see as much use. It's probably a good thing, but I don't know. I always think about, I want weapons to always be considered and used evenly. And I feel like that might just ruin it for a lot of people. But I think it is probably a change for the better. Okay, now we're jumping into Soldier. The base jumper. Players often complain that the base jumper is frustrating to fight against because the target is simply too hard to hit. This is mostly due to the combination of being able to deploy/retract at will, and the amount of steering control they have, which makes them too unpredictable. The changes reduced the amount of air control while deployed by 50%, and removed the ability to redeploy the parachute once retracted, until the player lands on the ground again. I believe this is one of the things that they did mention in the blog post, and it seems pretty much the same as it was. So essentially, the way it works now is you like rocket jump in the air, you deploy the parachute, you can't move around as much, and if you turn off the parachute, you're not going to be able to put it up again until you land. Which sounds fine to me. I'm fine with that. Personally, I don't find that enough people use the base jumper. I would have thought that there'd be way more people. But yes, I do find it true that like when a person is floating around with it, I find it very difficult to hit them because they're too unpredictable. When you add that extra axis in, it's too hard. The man treads, the second least used item in the game. The aerial stomp mini game is difficult. They even acknowledge it's a mini game. That's funny. And the gunboats are superior in most scenarios. Changes: plus 25% push force reduction now includes air blast, and added plus 200% air control while blast jumping. Wow. Okay. I believe that the entire point there was just to make it a competitor for the gunboats. Way more air control, huh? Okay, I don't quite know how that's gonna work. That's definitely a see what that's like in-game scenario there. Holy shit. Okay. Cow Mangler. Removed cannot be crit boosted, and granted /earned crits, e.g. Kritzkrieg, will be converted to mini crits instead. Wait, what? So it can't. So basically, it can't crit, but it can mini crit now. Is that what it's saying? So if you get boosted with a Kritzkrieg, it will just shoot mini crits. I don't know. Okay, I mean, fine, I guess. I didn't think the Cow Mangler really needed a change, but all right, whatever. Righteous Bison. Note, this weapon has been reverted to its previous design. That's funny. Deals 20 damage per tick down from 45. Note this is necessary because the projectile is no longer limited on the number of times it can hit targets. Yeah, no shit. You finally figured that one out, did you? Projectiles are no longer limited on the number of times they can hit the same target. Projectile velocity increased to 1200 from 840. That's just the funniest thing to me. That it just... So yes, we fucked up. Alright, we're putting it back. Oh, dear me. Okay, the sniper's only got 2 changes. Darwin's Danger Shield, which is one of the things that they did mention before, and I think also the Razorback. Snipers using this item had an advantage against snipers who weren't. As a result, players felt like they were required to equip this item in order to be competitive. Completely true. Goal: remove the increased survivability against enemy snipers, which invalidates the existing design. New design: counter ranged burn attacks, e.g. flares, and strengthen melee fights versus pyros. Afterburn immunity and plus 50% fire resist. Yeah. I don't know why specifically pyros. I guess because now pyro is going to be more mobile and has more means of shooting from long range. They wanted to give the sniper a bit of a advantage in that regard. And honestly, I'm fine with that. Generally, the thing is like... I mean, the pyros are completely... You know, as well as a very close range class. Sniper is a very long range class, and when the two find themselves right next to each other, 9 times out of 10, Pyro's going to win. So yeah, having a bit of fire resist is interesting. So it's going to be definitely, I think, a kind of a feeling play. If you're getting your ass kicked by spies, go Razorback. Having your ass kicked by Pyros, go Darwin's Danger Shield. Sweet. I'm cool with that. But speaking of the Razorback, has got a change. The goal is to reduce the effectiveness of pocketed snipers in stalemate/standoffs. This primarily happens in organized/competitive play. Okay. Changes are added minus 100% overheal penalty. Whoa. Okay, so you just can't be overhealed? And added that shield regenerates after 30 seconds. Okay, so I don't really play competitive, so I don't quite know like the deal with the Razorback, but I do know that it is like really strong for some reason. But I hope this does it. That whole it can't be overhealed at all thing is kind of fucked, but alright. I mean, it is a sniper, I guess, so, but alright, whatever. The medic. The Vitasaur. Ubercharge on death is too valuable of an effect to be passive. That is completely true. The goal is to change the weapon in a way that requires skill and risk in order to gain this effect. The changes are added... Oh yes, I remember this, the organs thing. I was really interested in this when they announced it earlier, a couple of months ago. The proposed changes. Added organs collecting concept. You know, hit someone with a saw and out pops a vital organ, which you then take and hold. Each hit with a vital saw harvests the victim's organs shown on the HUD. Added, on death, preserve 50% Ubercharge per organ harvested. This effect caps at 60. So essentially what they're saying, what it is now is the Vitasaur, you actually have to use it in order to gain the effect rather than just, you know, do your whole stick. It actually sort of reminds me of the Ubersaur in a more kind of delayed fashion, where the Ubersaur is gain Ubercharge for this life, the Vitasaur is gain charge for your next life, which I honestly like a lot. I almost think I prefer the way that the Vitasaur is looking, and I like the organs harvested concept. Yeah, I'm really interested in that. I always really liked the Vitasaur. I wish you could get a strange one, because that's honestly the only thing stopping me from using it, but because I have strange syndrome. But anyway, now we got the Crusader's crossbow. All right. This I know will probably be a debatable thing because Crusader's crossbow is what a lot of people consider to be just like an unrivaled primary for the medic. Personally, I disagree. I mean, I understand its value. I really prefer the Blood Saga though, in my personal opinion, because I'm shit at the crossbow, quite frankly. But bolt healing is very high and significantly out heals the medigun when the target is in combat. This might be okay given the trade-offs, risk versus reward of range shots hitting, and the opportunity cost no overheal. However, it's the fastest way to build Ubercharge under the right conditions, e.g. corner damage farming with the medic behind cover. The changes. Ubercharge gain rate reduced in the same way that the medigun's healing, and therefore Ubercharge build rate is, based on the last time the target was in combat. Reduced by a third when 1 to 10 seconds outside of combat, and it scales up to normal 10 to 15. Jesus, okay. So now you'll be gaining Ubercharge based on their time in combat. So it's more like the honestly, I'm not quite sure I understand. Okay, so you gain Ubercharge. I don't know, man. I'm getting mind flooded here. I've got so many other things on my mind right now of all these other weapons and stuff. But from what I can tell, it basically makes it so the whole, you gaining Ubercharge is not as easy. And yes, that seems to be what it is. And it's all based around like when your healing target was in combat last, etc. Okay, the heavy. All miniguns. Changes. The 1 second damage and accuracy penalty now applies to the first second of spin-up time. Whether or not the heavy is firing, previously the 1 second damage penalty would only be removed after 1 second of firing. Accuracy and damage penalties now reset when the heavy spins down, rather than when the heavy stops firing. This means if you stay spun up beyond 1 second and fire and burst, damage and accuracy will remain at 100%. This whole like change of like the 1 second, reduced damage and accuracy thing, honestly, like they keep fiddling with it and I have never given a shit. I have never noticed anything that really matters to me. It's only 1 second. It's not that big of a deal in my opinion. So, whatever. The GRU. Speed, lack of, is used to bounce the heavy's high health, overheal and damage output. While we still believe it's okay to have a class of items that increases heavy's movement speed, players have been able to easily bypass the existing negatives. The changes. Added max health is drained while item is active, so minus 10 per second, and regenerate while holstered. Okay. Is it just the health that you lost, I presume, rather than just regenerate normal health? I can see that being like a bug or something. Health will regenerate only the amount drained while active. Oh, there we go. It immediately answered my question. Minus any damage taken during that time. Each time the gloves are deployed, the drain rate is accelerated for a brief period of time. Alright, yes. Remove mark for death while active, and remove 25% damage penalty. Yeah, I understand why everyone uses the GRU, because they like, I gotta be faster. But I've personally always preferred the KGB, just because the KGB is like an untapped like gold mine in my opinion. With like let me just I've made a video about it, but seriously guys, KGB, once you kill someone with those gloves, you get guaranteed critical hits on all weapons, and you can keep just going on a killing spree with the gloves and just maintain your crits for forever potentially. How did not more people use this? I don't know. I'll put footage in the background of me actually using it. The eviction notice changes. Added max health is drained while item is active, minus 5 per second, and regenerated while holstered. Health will regenerate only the amount drained while active, minus any damage taken during that time. So the exact same thing that the GRU got, and remove 20% damage vulnerability. Yeah, I think the eviction notice was up there with the GRU because of all of the speed stuff. So yeah, seems fine to me. The Fist of Steel. The downside of increased melee damage doesn't ever really come into play when it counts, e.g. holding a choke point or objective. And when a medic is attached, the resulting pool of effective health is unreasonably large. So the changes are added 40% overheal reduction while active, and added 40% healing rate penalty while active. Okay, so essentially, take out the Fist of Steel, the medic is no longer really going to be able to help you that much. Fair enough. Added the second banana. Secondary slot item. When consumed by the heavy, restores 200 health. Acts like a small health kit when dropped by the heavy and picked up by another player. Item regenerates after 10 seconds. Okay. Yes, I think that's the one thing that everyone was questioning about the second banana, which is if you can drop it, how much health does it give? In comparison to the sandwich. But I'm pretty sure that it's like it still carries over the same idea. So with the sandwich, it drops a medium health kit, I believe, and with the second banana, it's a small health kit. So nice. Okay, engineer. Only one change to the rescue ranger. The ability to repair buildings safely from range without using metal is powerful. Combine this with the ability to instantly teleport buildings from far away, which by itself is interesting and useful enough in many circumstances, and you end up with a package that is very strong. Changes. Ranged repairs now consume metal at a 4:1 health to metal ratio, e.g. repairing 60 damage costs 15 metal. Double the amount of metal applied per wrench hit when upgrading buildings during the setup period. That's okay. Wait, double the amount of metal applied per wrench hit. So during setup time, you can just make your buildings faster. All right, interesting change. Don't know why that one, but once again, I could be reading this wrong. But yeah, this whole change of the rescue ranger, where it actually costs ammo or metal to heal buildings from afar, honestly, is something that should have been there from day one. Some people were complaining about it, but honestly, like. It needed to be done. The rescue ranger just went under the radar. People are like, no, don't take away the rescue ranger. It's not taking it away. It's just making it fair. You know, it is completely unfair to just. It's the same situation with the Crusader's crossbow, where you're effectively, you know, using another weapon to do what another weapon's job should be. You know, whereas like the medigun should be the main healing thing, but people are using the Crusader's crossbow. The wrench should be the main healing thing, but people are using the rescue ranger. The rescue ranger has no cost or penalty, so why would you pretty much never use the rescue ranger? That's the situation there. You know, other than the obvious, you know, you gotta actually fire a bullet and hit it and stuff like that, but you know what I mean. Okay, Demoman. It's only got one change to the sword, which I can never pronounce. You know, the Clade Hiamor. I don't know. And it's been reverted to its previous design, which is that it no longer has plus 25 health on kill, and they added a 0.5 second increase in charge duration. Okay, and the final class, ladies and gentlemen, the one you've all been waiting for, that I've been waiting for, the Pyro. Okay, so first it goes through all of the new items, and then it's going to go over some other changes. Okay. Added the Dragon's Fury. Is a primary slot item. Uses a shared pressure tank for primary fire and alt fire. Okay. The primary fire launches a fast-moving, limited-range projectile that deals 25 damage and briefly ignites enemies. Yes. Deals plus 300 damage to burning players. Wow. Jesus. Okay. 300% damage, I should say. And plus 50% repressurization rate on hit, so that means the reload essentially. It did say, like, that was one of the things that I noticed. It said reload, like it's not really a reload, it's just repressurization, so it's just a small amount of time before you can fire it again, essentially what it is. And the alt fire air blast is minus 50% repressurization rate on alt fire. Okay, so what it sounds like is they have once again made a flamethrower that kind of, you know, takes away from the air blast, but it's not the same way. So what it is that, from what I can tell, the more consecutive hits you get, the faster your reload, quote unquote, speed is. But as soon as you start air blasting, that reload speed will start becoming longer. So it's like, yeah. So the air blast is like a penalty to the, I guess, stacked up reload repressurization that you've kind of gotten, and it's like a vice versa. So you get like 2 consecutive hits, and you get a consecutive hit goes up 50%. You air blast, it'll go down 50%. So yeah, seems fine to me. I'm quite curious about the Dragon's Fury. Admittedly, I'm like, I can see certain builds and stuff and sets that I'm interested in, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to like it. But I'm incredibly curious to play it, so you know. Added the Thermal Thruster, secondary slot item. Fires a short duration blast that launches the pyro in the direction they are aiming. Okay, that's what I thought. It's any direction, not just like directly up or whatever. You can shoot into people, which is deals 3 times falling damage to anyone you land on. Has a 1.1 holster duration. Okay, so it's not even like it's just on your backpack. It's actually a thing you can switch to, and you have to like actually use it. Interesting. Okay. And it has its own MVM upgrades. Okay. Able to relaunch while airborne and stun enemies when you land. Duration based on impact velocity. Note, landing directly on an enemy grants a bonus to stun duration and a faster recharge rate. Interesting. I like how they've actually included MVM upgrades, and it has also for the gas passer, which we'll get into. So the gas passer is a secondary slot item. Creates a horrific visible gas cloud that coats enemies. Again with the word horrific. Okay. Flammable material then ignites into 10 seconds of afterburn if enemies take damage. This is exactly the same thing that they said on the other page. They didn't elaborate at all. God damn it. Even pyros. And the man versus machine stuff is enemies explode when ignited by attacks. Jesus. And faster recharge rate. Okay. The slap attack. Wait, what? They've renamed it already to the slap attack? It was the hot hand. What? Okay. Alright. Gain a speed boost when you hit an enemy player. Minus 20% damage penalty, and every successful slap is announced in the kill feed. Exactly the same dialogue or text as it was before. Dialogue. Yes, I am very interested to see how this weapon will go. It definitely appears to be a joke weapon, but I think it'll be fun. A little personal thing I really want. I want to be able to see you wearing the slap attack in the view model, you know, like how you can see the engineer's gunslinger. Flamethrowers, better visual sync, more consistent, no visual damage mismatch, new particle effects, and applies to all flamethrower variants. Again, this is exactly what they said the day before. I really hope they would elaborate more, but oh well, guess we're gonna have to kind of find out for ourselves. Air blast, hit detection for both players and projectiles is now consistent cone. Aiming at players' feet no longer misses. Talked about all this yesterday. Air blasting players now factors in the momentum of the pyro and target, giving both more control over the interaction. So what I could tell, well, it elaborates here. The target's existing velocity is no longer cancelled. Players moving at the pyro at great speed will be reflected away at great speed. Okay, I get you. And players moving towards / away from the pyro will experience less / more push. Yeah, so if they're moving towards the pyro, they'll experience less push. And if they're running away, they'll experience more. And if they're going really fast and you air blast them, they'll air blast away really fast, is what it means. So yesterday, I was a bit confused exactly what it meant. Air blast now causes the target player to have reduced footing and air control for a short period. And it's no longer a flat stun, which is very nice. Now factors in the upward angle of the air blast rather than having a fixed upward force, which is very good as well. And the total push force slightly increased. Sounds great to me. And the afterburn. Flamethrowers no longer apply maximum duration afterburn on contact. Afterburn duration is now based on how long the target is in contact with direct flames, starting at a minimum of 3 seconds. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So if you just puff, they'll be on fire for 3 seconds. That probably sounded really terrible. Yes. And stacking to a maximum of 10 seconds. Okay. Interesting. So it's... okay. Yep. Alright. Yep. I'm down. Per tick afterburn damage increased to 4 from 3. For a total of 8 damage per second. I think that's probably a good move. That if you're going to have less afterburn, you might as well make it do more damage. Up from 6 per second. Flare guns now apply 2.5 seconds of afterburn. Oh, it's not 7.5 seconds of afterburn. That's the thing. I didn't even consider flare guns. Which of course is down from the 10 seconds, resulting in the same total damage as before. Okay, so they do the exact same amount of damage, it's just you're on fire for less time, and yeah, okay, fair enough, I like it, because it does a little bit more damage. Afterburn now reduces all direct medic healing and resist shields by 20%. And resist shields, yes. Note this effect was previously applied by direct flames from all flamethrowers at 25%, but was moved to afterburn and slightly lowered. Okay, yeah, I never found that one to be too much of a noticeable thing, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, that appears to be day 4. It's just purely patch notes. I don't know if tomorrow there'll be in like another actual day to cover. But yes, and it's starting tomorrow, so I'll hopefully see you guys there. Meet me in the Discord. I'll be on and off throughout the next couple of days, and when I actually do the recording, I'll let you guys know, and you guys can ask me questions and stuff. But anyway, I have been Ihasnotomato, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.